A few other tips about managing your turf. Now, prior to getting out in the field, these are a couple of suggestions that I have that's only benefited myself as well as many reps that have worked with me in the past. Number one, if you can, get GPS. I know it sounds a little strange because you might be in an area that you're very familiar with, but oftentimes you could be in territories that you're not familiar with. And GPS, believe it or not, will help you considerably. Here's the reason why. When you're working on street sheets, it's great. You're in the familiar area that you've already been in, possibly the day before, so on. You're running back your second contact, this and that. But what happens if all of a sudden you receive a call from a customer, a potential customer, that you spoke to maybe 2 weeks ago? And he's in an area that you forgot all about. You remember it's somewhere east of the area you're in, but you don't know the specific address, and time is valuable. And if you can get the address from that customer, or hopefully you already have it in maybe that lead sheet that we had talked about earlier, the good news about it is you pop it in your GPS, there you go. Then you can get right back to the territory that you're working rather quickly. It's important. Now, GPS I prefer is the one in the vehicle, but some people actually have handheld GPSs, and that's fine, as long as you have a charger, because trust me, if you're using it a lot, you run through the batteries. But it's just a quick tip. It will help you in the future trying to get from location A and B rather quickly. And nowadays, they're rather inexpensive. You can usually go to one of the local stores, even electronic stores, and find them. Portable, mobile, sometimes they have battery chargers. It's just something that will actually help you in the future. Now, in addition to that, a good idea is once you get your turf, your street sheets for the new area, let's say you finished all your notes, you filled out your reconciliation report, you handed it in to your supervisor, you're all excited, you did really well, you got some sales and the penetration was high, contact rate was high, he hands you new turf. It may be in an area you're not familiar with. Not everybody works in what we call a territory. Territories are isolated areas that are basically protected by the sales reps. Many cable companies, actually most, work on what they call a sweeping motion. So at times you'll get turf in areas you're not familiar with. Again, the GPS is beneficial on how to get there, but after that, you're kind of confused. It might be a community you've never been in before, and you don't know your surroundings. So it's a good idea to go out there during the daytime, maybe even on a Sunday, or a day that you're not working where it's bright out, where you can drive around the area and kind of see how everything fits together according to that turf. In addition, it will help you locate convenience stores if you need to get water or coffee, using a restroom and so on, places to eat if you don't bring your own lunch. It's just provides you a better area, surrounding area of where you actually will be selling. Because remember, the majority of the time that you sell, it's going to be dark out. Which leads me to this. Remember, this is a job primarily in the evenings. Now you may start during the day depending on the season, and it's still a little bit light out, but what happens is eventually when you're in the field in prime time hours, you're looking between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the evening. Most of the time it's dark. And guess what? If it's raining out, you're still outside. So it's good to have an umbrella, maybe even some rain gear in your vehicle. In addition to that, it could be very cold. That's right. Especially if you're living in the Midwest like we are, it gets very chilly, but you're still out there selling. Just because it's cold and snowing doesn't necessarily mean, well, we don't work today. No. Some of the times, this is the most beneficial time for you to be out in the field. And the reason is, most people will actually invite you into the home because it's cold and it's snowing or it's raining. A lot of times we've had great success and we're able to get into homes that we wouldn't rather if the weather was nice. But make sure you're prepared. Have a warm jacket, have a blanket in your vehicle. Make certain that you spend trips to your vehicle turning it on, heating it up, and staying nice and warm so you don't get sick. Okay, you need to make sure that you worry about yourself too. But in the same sense, have all of this prepared so when you're out in the field, you're going to be able to be a little bit more productive. If it's hot out, make sure you have plenty of water. Okay? If it's cold out, make sure that you have warm clothing on. If it's raining out, have some protection. And when it's dark out, it might be a good idea to have a flashlight. There are some neighborhoods that don't have street lamps everywhere, so it's good to have a flashlight for your safety. Try to stick to the sidewalks as best you can, but sometimes when you walk up to a sidewalk, there may be obstacles in your way. If the residence that you're going to has small children, you may see toys and so on. So if you have a flashlight or you can see, it's actually better to navigate yourself. You don't want to trip on a big wheel or a dollhouse or anything like that. So make sure that you have some lighting, sufficient lighting. So when you're out in the evening, which is going to be a big part of your time, you can be safe. But these are things that you need to prepare for. And hopefully, this is only going to help you in the future. Remember, the whole intention is getting in front of these people, these prospects, to convert them to customers. So be prepared, not only for the elements, but also with everything else that you do in this career. You want to be professional, and preparation is key.